Hello everyone, welcome to the basics of philosophy, and today's topic we're going to talk about is aesthetics. It means a set of concerns with the nature and appreciation of beauty, especially in art. The branch of philosophy that deals with the principles of beauty and artistic taste. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you some reference images just to give you like an idea of what I'm be talking about of the philosophy aesthetics. So we're going to start off with the painting first. Okay, so this is a painting of a portrait of a guy named King Edward VI. Alright, so by looking through this portrait, what does that tells me and what exactly what I'm seeing right now? Okay, so I'm looking through this painting for a minute. So what I'm seeing right now, I see a guy that he's looking at me one-on-one, like wants to talk to me and connect with me. And also I see a guy that he's holding a stick. It's kind of like, it shows that it's kind of like a royal stick. And then what I'm looking at right now, that he's well dressed, well presented, and he has this full gown that he's almost dressed up as a king, and also his crown. So what does that tells me? Okay, what it tells me is that he's running his own government, his own political appointments, and is here to say that he is the head of the government. He can consider himself as the president or the king of France, the king of Germany, or king of UK. Anything is to show that he's running what he stands for. And so when people vote for this guy, is to show this is what he stands up. He accomplished something good in his life, and to show that he's using his power to own his own standard by using his decisions, and also to find his solutions to make the country more presentable with the wealth, the community, and also work with tax legislators. So yeah, and that's what basically tells me, and it's a show, like I was mentioned before, that is looking, you can see like the eyes where, I don't know if you can see it. Okay, so if you can see that person, yeah, you can see where it's looking directly right at me, and you can see where this to show that I'm running this government. I'm going to run this country. I'm going to do my power to do what it takes to make sure that I'm running the government very smoothly, and to show that he's well presentable, well powerful, and he's ready to stand up for what he wants to do and be in charge of his system. Okay? And also, there's one thing I like to mention is that he's not just to present himself, his clothes, just to show it off, but is to show that he's ready to take what he stands for, and not, like, I'm not saying that he's not trying to be cocky, he's not trying to be dressed up thinking he's fabulous or he's famous, but is to show that he's running his own government, his own political system, for him to move what he wants and to be in charge, to work with government officials, work with the militaries, work with the people of the communities and the countries, and he's ready to take the play, and he's not going to put up with nonsense, because for him to run the government, he has to use his own decisions, what is necessary for him, and since he has that crown on the table, it shows that he's ready to be in charge, and he's well known for him to run the country. Okay? Alright, so we're going to get into nature for right here. Okay, so you can see right here, this is a waterfall. You can see the images. Okay, you can see in images of a waterfall that has the lake to it. Okay, so what does that tell me? What does that represent? Well, it tells me that the water stream, it's basically moving every directions in the lake stream, and it goes from every corner and every direction. And then once these waters, it tends to the waterfall, you can see where the water is basically falling down from the ground. You can see the where it grounds that it falls down is to show it's almost like a relaxing nature where you basically just laying down or sitting down, and you can see this waterfall that is basically pouring down, and it makes you feel relaxed, makes you feel as comfort. So like if I go like into a forest, and if I ever get a chance to see of a river or like a lake or a stream, wherever I go, the waters and streams, they're gonna go in every different directions wherever they go and where it stands, because these streams has different ways of movements, the ways that it tracks to in every point of directions. So by looking to this waterfall that drains down into the ground, it basically tells me that I'm hearing the drops of water that is basically almost as a relaxing. It makes me feel very comfortable, especially you like to meditate. You see, and that's how it basically makes it feel very comfort, makes it reasonable, and it's more relaxing. So whenever you hear a drop of water, drops of water, it basically tells me that it sounds more natural, and it feels good to relax, and it makes it so interesting where the water that behaves in different ways of how they get across from every lakes and every streams in every direction, because they behave in ways. Okay, so we're gonna go to the next one. So this is for beauty. Okay, so this is a flower with branches on it. So okay, so what did that tells me? What does that represent? Well, the way I see it is that these flowers, whenever they grow into the atmosphere, it basically produce sprout. That it sprouts wide open. And by looking at it, I see it as a beautiful pink flowers. And then one day when the sun comes up, I think about the flowers that it will start to behave in ways that it's going to automatically sprout wide open, because it basically reads a signal the way it tells me. It's like it tells the flower to like automatically to spread out, spread wide open. And you can see, I don't know if you guys can see it, but these are kind of, if you see these petals, these are veins right here. So in every flowers that, if you can see, that these flowers will definitely automatically will continue to spread every different colors and different seasons. And most importantly, the way I see these tree branches, these twigs, they're well connected, because the inside of the root, that it'll start to grow with a leaf inside from the roots and then from the branches, and then one day it'll start to sprout particularly into a flour, but sometimes it can take quite a while until these flours start to produce. But most importantly, it results to a beauty of a nice, beautiful pink flower that it basically sprouts into a branch. Otherwise, let's say if it cuts it out, if it chooses to cut it off, then it tells me that there is no flower to continue to growth. It's just going to basically wire it down, and it makes it feel crumbly and not very wise. It makes it feel as the flower is almost just basically given up because they couldn't produce light or water. There's no point of for their flowers to continue to sprout unless if they never had growth and to behave this way. Okay? Alright, so the final one is the taste. So it's basically almost as food. So as you can see right here, these are the tables that they set up. And by the way, this is like another painting I found. So what we have, there's chicken, there's a pie, and there's a loaf of bread and oranges. So, okay, so what that tells me, what does that represent of a taste? So that tells me that it tastes that if I grab like an object of a bread, so if I choose to eat the bread, I feel as, it feels like you're tasting a bread of wheat. Because these tastes has different flavors that you can try. And, okay, like a pie. That tells me it looks like a pineapple. To me, it looks like almost like a pineapple. So if I eat a pineapple pie, I see it as, so if I eat the pineapple pie, yes, it tastes like pineapple. But whenever I taste it, I feel as it almost tastes like the actual flavor itself that is well made, that is planted from a garden. Okay, and also like for chickens. So whenever I'll say like it's probably like a roasted chicken. So if I eat the roasted chicken, then I can taste the pieces of layer of the skin. So whenever, like in other words, like we have a mouth, we have a tongue. So whenever we eat something, we eat in these different types of flavors that it basically tells us, yeah, this chicken tastes good, or this pie tastes good, or if these, okay, so if let's say if I eat an orange, okay, well, we all know that orange that comes from a tree branch. So whenever you peel it off, and then once you rinse it down, so if I slice an orange, so if I eat the orange, it tasted more natural. And it's actually a healthy choice because it makes you feel good, makes you feel energetic, and it tells me by eating an orange that it's going to make me feel very healthy, well presentable, that, you know, it's not something I eat junk food. But if I eat junk food, that tells me all I'm just eating is just plain dull food, that it might not sound very reasonable. It feels like I'm repeating the same foods over and over, but instead I'm not trying something differently. But if I eat something in a different food way, then if I eat like a potato salad and I say, oh, okay, this is a new recipe, this is a new concept that I'm eating right now. So if I eat a potato salad, then it tastes very reasonable. It has more an actual flavor that, you know, it's not too salty, it's not too sweet, it's not too overly cooked, but I can see the flavor that so whenever I eat something, it tells me right away that your brain gives you the signal saying, yeah, I can tell that there's, like if I drink a glass of water, so if I drink a water, you know, I'm tasting the actual water, and also I just ate some ice. Well, these ice, they come from a frozen cube because it has to connect with freezing temperatures. Okay, so for me, using my philosophy of all of these references that I'm showing you about, it basically tells me that, that's how it basically shows where that, these are kind of like examples of what the acidic means. Okay? All right, so that's what I wanted to show you, some good examples of what these images are look like, and also just sharing my own philosophy thoughts. Okay? All right. Well, hopefully enjoy the video, and I'll see you guys the next video on basic philosophy.